Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a good day. We have a lot of things planned. First and foremost, we are going to test out the solar swivel, the eco-worthy swivel that we have, and make sure that it's working before I head out. Also, I'm going to climb up on the ladder and I'm going to check to see the top part of the van to make sure it's safe from the storm and that we don't have any further issues. And then I'm going to be working on some other projects and I'll show you some of the things that I kind of have been working on already today. So with that said, let's go and check out this solar arm first. Don't worry, Dimples, we'll be getting to you in just a minute because yeah, we need to make sure you're good. I also need to check this van, but over here. Okay, Dad is hooking it in for the time being so we can just test it to make sure it's gonna be good. We will be putting some batteries with this. That will be something I follow up with you guys on after I return so that you can see kind of how this is gonna work for us. But for now, we're just trying to follow the instructions provided by EcoWorthy in order to get the module to read. And again, this one has a few more instructions than the actual installation portion. If you did not see that video, please go and check it out. It used mostly photos and very little actual print. Okay, so this is just us starting out with this for now to make sure that it's going to work correctly. Yeah, we turn it on and
yeah, press and hold it.
Yeah, we got to press and hold. It says turn on the power. This part's going to be a little bit of a learning curve because we've never done this before. So we're going to figure this out one way or the other. But until then, I'm going to show you guys what I had been working on in the van before the really nasty storms came. I got something kind of interesting in there. So check this out. I took some time in the van to mount all of these little brackets for filming purposes to make it a little bit easier for me so I can have hands-free filming from a variety of angles. I also put one on this side and then one in the middle, so those are good little options for me while I'm driving. So again, I can always be safe. Everything is in order here finally. All of the water, I have my toilet up here, I have my extra window covers and things all tucked in, so I have tons of room here so that I can use this for a variety of different things. I have this black cloth that goes over that normally I put over these things, but if I need to put something on top of the refrigerator that I don't need to move, I can pull that back and just use this slip-free pad. I just made sure that everything was kind of tucked into place though, and I still have to do a little test drive to make sure nothing rattles. And I have one more thing that I do need to address today, and that is this section. I just need to clean it thoroughly because it's kind of gross right now. Shelving wise, everything is perfect. I am very pleased with how everything fits in there. It is really tight so nothing wiggles and moves. Of course, we'll go on bumpy roads and see if that stays. But I need to put this bag back on its place and then I need to bring out the rest of my bedding. And otherwise, this is pretty good. The last thing that I wanted to see was if I am bringing in any power from the roof, and I don't know that I'll necessarily need power, so I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but I'm gonna try to get it to click in. Okay, it is clicking in. It is showing that it is trying to pull, but it's at 100%, so it doesn't need anything, but it did click in, so that means the panel's working correctly too. So all of those things are good to go, leaving me in a much better place than I was yesterday whenever I was panicking, trying to get all this taken care of, and then the storm came in. So with that, I have to do those few small tasks and then I should be in a good place to take off. I'm also going to try to get a few personal things done just so that I can have my house ready for me whenever I return. I always like to leave it super nice so that I can just come in and be relaxed. So all of those things will be things I don't necessarily have to show you guys, but I will show you the finishing touches on the van in just a moment. But for now, we're gonna see if this thing moves just one more time just to make sure it's fully functioning correctly. Okay, it's moving. It's moving. So this is how you flatten it. And I think that this is how they say that you could more easily install the solar panels, but this is it working correctly. We're just running it off of the car right now, but it is in fact almost completely and totally flat now. That is cool. Now this is supposed to be able to rotate to be able to find the sun the best. And so it's continuing to go. So let's look at our next part. So we went through the setup and now we are on to this phase. And this phase is going to actually directionalize toward where it's going to get optimum sun. And so it tilted it on its own. And it says here that the screen will now reflect a thing saying working. Okay, Dad said that it is. It's kind of harder to see because of the light, but
Small rant.
it's in there. There it is. Again, we're gonna get it set up to all the batteries and things, and I'm gonna give you a full description as to what's going on. But now that it's set up and we know that it will work correctly, that is going to be a huge game changer here at my base camp. These are all Renogy panels. This is an eco-worthy swivel. Again, there's a full video on the installation. Please go check it out if you are interested in solar at your home of any kind. This is a great alternative to a roof mount solar, which can be a little bit more difficult for us as regular individuals to put up. So with that, now it's time to go inspect the van and check it out to make sure everything is good to go after the massive hail. We're up here on the top of the roof box. I don't see any kind of cracks, any kind of dings. Definitely some scratches, but that could also be from the cats that get up here. Solar panel looks good, no weirdness. Everything looks good on these panels. It doesn't look like anything's wrong. They're getting hit direct, so kind of was worried. Also looks like it's okay. Okay, cool. So, since that's good, we can move on to the next thing. Dad said that he had measured it. This is the little sensor that allows the light to be discovered, and that it has already moved again. So it's moved up about 2 inches in this test. That project is good. I just wanted to follow up on that because I know a lot of you who might be interested in this particular flexible arm might be wanting to know, okay, well, did it work though after you got it set up? Yes, it did. And yes, it is okay after the hail. So off to new tasks. Okay, we're gonna turn on the van. It's 111 degrees right now. Ouch. And I'm gonna try to troubleshoot something else in my van. I bought a new cord and we're gonna see if the CarPlay will work correctly using a brand new out of the box cord. If it does not, I don't know what to do, guys. I've been trying to figure out my CarPlay situation. Something is just not adding up with it. So let's see if this works. Okay, this is what the screen looks like before I plug it in, and now I'm plugging it in. Normally this is when CarPlay pops up. It currently is not. Okay, it's trying. Oh yes, it was the cord. We solved that. I went through probably 10 cords that I already had and none of them would work. I had noticed on my last trip that I was on, at the end of my trip, I started whenever I would film and my CarPlay would be engaged, it would duck the audio. There would be no audio. And so I thought at first there was a setting in an update on my phone. It was not. It was the CarPlay itself was just not doing the correct thing. It would still show, but it wasn't allowing me to record audio, which is very strange. So I was like, okay, so I changed out the cord thinking maybe that was it. And then it wouldn't show up at all. And I changed out the cord back to the old cord and then the CarPlay wouldn't work either. So I was like, okay, did I break my van? I did not break my van, but apparently it needed a new cord. That's what happens, unfortunately, with these particular systems quite frequently. I have looked at one of those little digital receivers that you can hook in to your USB that should do CarPlay. It did not. It was bad. It was super bad. I saw somebody do a review on one and they were like, yes, it's awesome. I tried it and it was terrible. It did not work at all. So I'm okay. I will be corded and I'll be fine with that. But the fact of the matter is it works now. So now I can see my map on my screen. Now the problem was whenever I would plug in my phone, even if it wouldn't go to CarPlay, it would just give me the driving directions like as a list and take away the map screen. So I couldn't see the physical map, which is not that big of a deal most of the time. However, in certain instances, whenever you're trying to like check out a new area, seeing the map kind of as you're exploring around is very helpful. So a lot of times I'll just put coordinates to some place that I know is maybe a marked location, and then I'll just drive. And as I'm driving, I'll be able to look at the map as I'm going. And that is so handy for finding campsites. Okay, so today didn't go at all as planned, and that's okay. It's fine. I was like trying to figure out some stuff. I was getting my art supplies packed up. I was going through some cords, checking out all the things after I figured out that my CarPlay was going to work. And I really made a lot of progress, but it's not like physical things that I can really see as much of. It was more so like the tedious things that you have to do. Every time that I come back and I do like a big reset, I try to work on projects that I know are going to help me out on the road, most of which don't really matter to anybody other than myself. So I always carry extra cords and things like that. I went through all of my devices and figured out which cords I needed and if I had a backup of that cord and a backup for that cord. And I was able to go through and pull from my reserves to make sure I had the correct cords for everything. Right now, I am only using 2 styles of cords. Before, I was having to use like 8 styles of cords because different devices would use different things. Most things are moving to Type-C, so that is awesome. So I made sure that for every item that I have, that I would be able to plug things in all at once if I needed to. So if I have a battery pack, I need to be able to plug it in. But if I have another battery pack, I also need to be able to plug that one in. So that means 2 cords, and both of those need a backup. So 4 cords for 2 chargers. So I got all of that finished, thank goodness. And then I sat down and I went through my map of places that I'm interested in going, and I worked on that, tweaking it just a little bit more. I helped my dad with a couple of big projects at his house, and so I still have work to do, but my laundry is now done. So now I can start putting together my clothes officially. I was kind of like just gonna put them together and then do the laundry and then add those things, but I figured it was easier since I was already doing these other things, just get it all done. So I have my laptop bag that I have changed out, completely organized. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about this new bag. And by new, I mean old. This was something that my grandparents had that was in the estate sale, and we were able to use it for my stuff here. It is perfect because under here I can put my art supplies. I can have all my extra pins, my lens cleaners, everything completely organized. And the cool thing about this is it has a clip, so I can put my headphones there. And then Riley gave me this strap. It's a camera strap, but it's just a nice way for me to be able to grab it. I probably won't use this by itself. I'll still hold this, but at the same time, this is nice to have. And then I put a little Smokey Bear on there. He's upside down to you guys, but yeah, I think that we should more than ever really focus on helping out in the world. In fact, that's why under my little Ipsy bag here, I have my Leave No Trace book, because I think that we should kind of go through some of these things while we're traveling, because I don't think a lot of people understand what Leave No Trace really is. I think that they think they know what it is, but picking up trash is not the only thing, guys. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more when we're traveling again, but until then, all of this is good to go. Now I just need to figure out how I'm going to store my bag. Normally I carry a small waist pack, and then I carry a larger bag. I don't know if I'm going to carry the larger bag this time. I usually use it for extra storage, and I love to take my Murphy bag with me. However, I've been just using waist bags lately, and I have a Murphy waist bag also. It's called the bunny bag. So, and then I also have my little recycle bag, because every little bit of what we do, what we wear, what we say, what we embody echoes what our beliefs are. And my beliefs are definitely always going to be to protect the space around us. Again, leave no trace, but also recycle when you can. I think it's really important for us to realize the impact that we have as people. So I'm going to take that one so it can be like right here, front and center, recycle. I also have my shirts that have meaning to me. So I have a few new ones. Of course, you've probably seen my Smokey Bear Resist shirt. I think it's really important for us to realize the parks are some of our most treasured resources, and we have to protect them and the wildlife and the experiences. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, but the things that have been impacted are just very minor. Extra things. No, they are not. Visitor centers, as many of you know, are some of my favorite things to do. They teach you so much about locations, and some of those places are not able to be open full time now because of those cuts. So I don't say a whole lot about stuff, but I'm going to say that we need to resist against that. That is bad. That is bad business. That is bad education. And here we do brain wrinkles, and that is bad for brain wrinkles. And then I have, of course, my Planet Over Profit shirt, which will be packed up because I think that says everything right there. I also have 2 shirts that mean a lot to me, and I've promoted this before. You've seen the purple shirt that says different is cool. I think that different is really cool in all capacity. I don't think that we should be thinking that everybody should be a cookie cutter of the other person. That's silly. That's really silly to think that we all have the same skill set, the same mentality, the same things that we value, and to kind of say that people who are different is bad. I think that that's weird. Like, that's weird, guys. Let's not do that. But that's an autism awareness shirt. It was created by a woman whose son was autistic. She wanted him to understand that just because he was a little different did not mean that he wasn't cool. In fact, his difference was his superpower. And so I still wear that shirt every single time I get a chance to. I love it. It's purple. It's beautiful. And it has a great message. Different is cool, guys. So yeah. But I also have another one that I found that is an autism awareness shirt. It's about inclusivity and understanding that autism is something that we should be learning a little bit more about. In today's world, a lot of people have a lot of opinions about people who have autism, and that is so not okay. So I feel like today I have a platform. I have built this platform with these values of talking about inclusivity. I create content so that people can understand that you can do a lot of things. You might just not understand that you can. And so it goes right along with who I am as a person. Not to mention, I think it's really important to state that my mom started out teaching in special education. So I've always valued people as opposed to, finding, oh, that's weird, you're different, something's wrong with you. I think that's really toxic. We should stop that. We should stop those kind of conversations. I volunteered with the Special Olympics before. I think it's really a great cause. So I think these autism shirts are right up that alley. So those are going in there for sure. I don't know what else I'm taking though. So I'll pack all that up and I'll see you in the van tomorrow. Okay, I'm just putting together my shirts, pants, etc. And I figured out something. I've been using the t-shirt folder and I liked that for a really long time, but now I've learned that with some of the shirts, because of the way that they kind of fit in there, I end up losing more vertical space by folding them than I would if I rolled them, and I can get like 2 extra shirts in whenever it's like that. Long story short, we overthought this a little bit, but I figured out instead I was going to fold them like this and then just roll them. The problem with that I discovered on my last couple of trips has been that once you pull them out, sometimes they unravel, which means you then get to refold them. I had these left over from another thing that you'll be seeing on the channel soon, and I was like, why not solve that issue by just keeping them where they'll stay together? I'm going to do a little experiment on this trip, I think. If this works out, that would be super awesome, and it would be a game changer. If it doesn't, worst case scenario, I go back to them just being loose rolled, and then I have some extra rubber bands in the van to do, whatever. So I think I'm going to try it. I'll let you guys know how it's working. I know this is just super niche, but I've been trying to solve every single issue I had on the road the last time. That was just even the minor things. And this was one of them, just it coming unrolled and me having to spend that extra time to just fold a shirt. I know it's just a shirt, but at the same time, every little minor thing that happens like that is a few minutes here and a few minutes there that you're not out adventuring. So I think this is going to fix that. And I feel like the only thing that would be better than just like rolling it and doing this would be to fold it and then roll it, because then it takes up even less space, because this is really bad. Just to show you guys, look at that. That's less room. So ultimately it's still about the same size because it's the same amount of cloth. So maybe folding then rolling is the answer. I don't know. I'd never considered doing the banding before, and I don't know why, because I constantly am banding other things. So let's see. I think the folding then rolling still does work best, but I think that more realistically, I will do this than this every time, because I sometimes hate putting up laundry. So I think I'm going to go with this is the easier way to put up laundry. Again, just saving myself some time and headache, and we'll see how this works. I thought about it kind of after I'd already finished most of them. I could probably use floof holders, as I call them. These would be great because then I would have extras of these, because I always have a few extras just in case. So I could individually wrap each one of the shirts and then have that ponytail holder there, and then have backup if something messes up. So I think I'm going to try these with these just to find out. And I have some more also that I could kind of trade out to see which one's better, the rubber band or the little floof holders. So here's the difference. This one is definitely different. When it comes to the strength of it, it feels a little bit more sturdy than these. These are just tie-dye rubber bands, so maybe if I had a different kind of rubber band. I'm going to try out both. I do like this though. It holds the shirt very well and it pulls it together a little bit more. And this one, it does okay, but you can see the difference in like the side-by-side. This one's just a bit more tight, and it could just be this shirt. So I'm going to try a couple more, but I really like how that is. And again, I can buy tons of these for $2 or less. So that is an option.